Hello, in today's video I want to speak about the number one thing that's costing you profits in e-commerce and how to fix it. My name is Yanni, I'm a 7-figure e-commerce seller. I have a full service agency called eCommerceville where we've worked with by now with over 40 brands, anywhere ranging from zero in sales to millions in sales. So we really have a lot of experience when it comes to Amazon selling in general. So today I want to speak about the number one thing that's killing your profit and your long-term business value. So let's get into it. What is that? That is short-term thinking and short-term advertising. Why do I mean by that? So first we need to establish what product you have. And let's get something that's quite popular right now. It's supplements, right? Supplements are notorious for being more expensive to advertise. The cost per click is higher, the ACoS is usually higher, and it's a competitive niche. So what do I see in the difference between smaller and bigger brands? What are the difference, right? Smaller brands, smaller business owners, what they tend to do is they think about profit today rather than profit later on. They're thinking about today. They're thinking of my product costs $20. I'm buying it for $5. My margin is 30% or whatever their margin is. I want to make sure that's my margin. I'm not going below that. But what's the issue? Okay, you can make that margin later on, but it's difficult to do it right away with a good amount of sales. On Amazon, with e-commerce and products, you need to understand that momentum is the most important thing. When I say momentum, I mean momentum of sales. To generate more sales, you need more sales. For your product to rank up, you need sales. Forget about PPC. Your product needs to sell. Now you can have the best PPC strategy, you can have everything that's correct, but your budget is almost nothing and you won't push it enough. When launching a product, and depending on what I want to do, that's the question. Do you want to dominate that market and crack into the top 5 where most of the sales are happening? Or do you want to make some profit and be okay? There's nothing wrong with either. But if you want to smash it out of the park, if you really want to get a lot of sales, you need to think of, okay, what can I actually afford to advertise for? I know that my break-even ACoS is 20%, 5%, 10%. I know that my break-even TACoS, actual break-even advertising spend, is 30%. Can I afford to do that? If yes, do it. Why? Because if it's a supplement brand and you start spending a lot of money on ads and you're happy to be breaking even taking a small loss, you'll start scaling in sales significantly because you'll start seeing, oh wow, I'm spending a lot of money on ads. I'm getting a lot of clicks. I'm getting a good conversion rate. That's the key though. You need to make sure you're tracking these 3 things: impressions, click-through rate, and conversion rate. Make sure they're good. If your conversion rate is high, spend money on ads because you're converting. Even if you're not super profitable, you're converting. That's the key. Amazon loves products that are converting. Well, that's what Amazon wants. People to buy products and to have a good experience. If you have good reviews, if you have a good conversion rate and a good price, Amazon will love you. And of course, because the customer loves you. Amazon loves every product and brand that the customer loves. Because as we know, Amazon are horrible with sellers, but are amazing with customers. And this is who you need to think of. You need to think about the customer. Because if the customer is happy, Amazon will be happy. So push ads. Don't think about, I'm trying to make profit on the first month. Think about, in a year from now, 6 months from now, do I have the chance to break in the top 5? And why should you think about breaking in the top 5? Very easy. If you're on the second, third page, or if you're top 100 in your category, let's say for supplements, you might be making 5 to 10 grand a month in sales. Okay numbers. You can make maybe a couple of thousand in profit depending on how you're running it. If you're in the top 5 in these categories, you're making hundreds of thousands a month in sales. And this is just the UK market. In the US market, we're talking about millions. That's the big difference. Do you want to make 20 or 30% on 10,000 in sales? Or do you want to make 5, 10, 15, even 20% on 200,000-300,000 a month in sales? That is the question. Don't be super obsessed about the margin at the beginning. You don't have a product, nobody knows you. Get reviews. Start getting good ranking, organic and paid ranking. Start getting to that top page. Make sure your subscribe and save is on fire. Make sure you're getting amazing deals. Make sure you're stacking up those organic sales. And once you get to that point, profits really start coming in. And not only that, your brand starts becoming more valuable. Because if you're top 5 in Amazon and you want to open on TikTok, you have a lot bigger chance. If you want to open your website, you have a bigger chance because your product is known. That's the difference. And this applies for one-off products as well, by the way. Even if people don't buy it all the time, it's still the more sales you get, the more you rank. One thing I would make sure with one-off products, like TVs, watches, is that maybe I'll be a little bit less aggressive on ad spend because I won't have returning customers, but I'll have better positioning regardless. So really understand your product and make sure you're thinking long term. Because if you want to dominate a market, Amazon, whatever platform, but especially Amazon, you need to push, you need to spend, and you need to think long term. Be obsessed about the numbers of, and I'm going to mention this many times, and I always mention it, impressions, click-through rate, conversion rate. Be obsessive about, because that's the funnel of Amazon. That is how Amazon And that's how actually happens. Impressions are the views, the traffic. Are you getting anyone looking at you? Is someone looking at you? I hope so, because nobody will be clicking if you don't. Click-through rate. How many people are clicking of that impressions? Is it 1%? Is it 2%? Is it 0.5%? Conversion rate. Out of the people in your listing, how many people are actually buying? If nobody's buying, you're not making sales. So look at that traffic. Then of course, track ACOS, TACOS, ROAS, cost per click, track all of that. That is super important, but make sure you're tracking the right numbers and make sure you're thinking long term. Long term, I cannot emphasize this enough, is the most important thing on Amazon. Think long term. Is your brand looking to be top 5, number 1, break into the category, make most of the sales, or are you looking to make some profit on some sales and be profitable enough? Nothing wrong with either. But if you want to smash it on Amazon, if you really want to be top 5, top 3, top 2, top 1, you have to think long term and you can't be afraid to spend. That's the key. Understand that. The reason I'm telling you this is because I've experienced it. We've taken multiple products to top 5 in the category and we've seen the data. We've taken products from zero to superhero, knowing that. And we've also worked with clients that were like, oh, I want to make profit and maximum get to this sales and this profit. And nothing wrong with that, but you never get to those results. The businesses and the brands who are exiting for millions, multiple millions, 8 figures, 7 figures, whatever that size is. The brands who do Amazon, TikTok, Shopify, and they do it very well are the guys who are thinking long term. The guys who are really pushing and thinking long term. I'm not thinking of making money today. I'm thinking of being a Goliath in 5 years. That's the big difference. And if you really want to do that, that's how you do it. Hope you like this video. A lot more to come. Stay tuned.